There's been a change that is flying under the radar, and we are going to bring it to your attention because it will affect your favorite baseball team and your favorite sport, which is baseball. They are going to centralize all in game data and technology in the minor leagues, just like they have done in the major leagues. This article coming out from Eno Sarris. We also hit this topic on Baseball America Hot Sheet, which is on the Baseball America YouTube channel. You can check that out at some point. But beginning next season, MLB is going to regulate the technology in game that is available for use across all minor league parks. I want to make sure I clarify this doesn't have to do with sign stealing and all that kind of stuff, right? This has to do with what innovations come to our sport and how teams can take advantage of that. This often creates advantages for those small market teams who do invest back into their club. I'm going to leave it at that. Although an MLB spokesperson wrote in a statement confirming the change, quote, "We are taking this step to ensure that all 30 clubs are working with the same set of information as they make baseball operations decisions. Each club can use that info however they see fit, but it is important that we provide a level playing field on access to information." Kratz on the case.
Trash statement by that MLB official, because that is not the genesis of this. If the genesis of playing Major League Baseball, which is minor league baseball coming up through the minor leagues, is to make the best players you can possibly make in your minor league system to make your big league teams win. The genesis of the reason for this is control. Major League Baseball wants control of, gee, I wonder what players' values are. Well, somebody has Kinetech, somebody has Skinetech, somebody has this tech, somebody has that tech. We're all kind of across the board. But if we can centralize it, now we can lock in one value for a certain demographic set position of player so that everybody across the league knows exactly how much you should value that player wise. So they're essentially controlling players' value, which people will say, who cares in the minor leagues? You know, good minor league players make it to the big leagues. You're right. But there's also a lot of biometrical stuff that people are taking and understanding that value, oh, this guy's really not that great, even though he's in the minor leagues. All of a sudden, no teams are trading for that type of player. All of a sudden, everybody has the same evaluations on everybody, and it's a way that they can control it. I heard this said by a big league vet when I was in the minor leagues. Let your play on the field show what you can do. Not the pictures in the MRI scans, not the fact that the organization I was with at the time was giving out wearables like a watch, like a Whoop type of thing, or it was an Apple Watch at that time, and they were giving them to the players. He's like, they're not doing it to make you better. They're doing it to monitor you. They're doing it just like an insurance company says, ooh, you can be a safe driver if you just install this. No, they're going to hike your rates up unless you drive at the exact way that they're going to have for the lowest rates. It's exactly with players. They're doing this to control the player, and you have one career. KP knows this. Every player that's ever played knows this. You have one career. And if a team knows what's going on inside your shoulder, inside your elbow, if a team knows every single day that, you know, your bat lags a little bit behind on this, well, you did hit 330, you did hit 20 homers, but I don't know, your value isn't that much. It's a way to squash the value of players along with other things too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. And I think in addition to that, I hate the fact that they're trying to take away some sort of competitive advantage that some teams have when they do invest into their minor league organizations. As someone, much like you, Kratz, at some point in your career, much like myself, when you are an established big leaguer and you have to take a minor league deal, you kind of go down a list of teams where you feel like they have a track record of making guys better. I had to do that after the 2021 season with the Mets. I had to sign a minor league deal. I chose to go with the Dodgers. I could have picked any minor league team to go in, and I probably had a better opportunity to make the big league team with pretty much any other team besides the Dodgers. But I loved the way that they presented their case to me about look at these list of players that we've had in our minor league systems. These are the things that we offer that not all these other teams offer. We feel like we can maximize you as a player because of the things that we've invested in, the way that we're able to break down the information, the way that we've invested in all these different areas to make you the best version of yourself. I just hate that they're making that a blanket statement because it is a competitive advantage. Yes, teams want to go out and spend money and buy the best free agents on the market. Teams want to draft and develop the best guys. But there's also another component of it is when you get these guys into your minor league system, or you get guys that were kind of on the fringe, had a cup of coffee, hadn't really made it, but they see something in it. Much like Mike Soroka was talking about with, certain players or certain things or certain resources that certain teams have that are going to, maximize a player's value. And I really hate that they're making this a blanket statement for all teams. And more importantly, I hate that we ultimately know this is a way of suppressing players' value. If you can put everyone into a certain box, it just makes things that much tougher for players to be an outlier or to kind of navigate their own way or carve their own path. And I hate everything about it.
I wish I would have said this first because some people don't listen to an entire segment. But if you want to hear one thing, listen to this. KP brought up the Dodgers, and people will be like, "Oh, great, Dodgers are spending more than everybody else." Here is where the Milwaukee Brewers, the Cleveland Guardians, when I played for them, they were the Indians, the Pittsburgh Pirates. I know people will say, "Oh, the Pirates, you're going to bag on the Pirates." All these teams invested in tech that gave them an advantage because of how they used it. Now, the Pirates didn't use it as well. The Guardians and the Brewers used it so well. A piece of tech. I'll tell you about one system that costs $250,000 for an organization. $250,000 for an organization, that could be a steep price. Now, all of a sudden, if you can implement that in your minor leagues, you create one big league player. Obviously, these players are going to happen, not no matter what, but let's say this system helps one big league player. You pay a big league player the minimum, $720,000. That system paid for itself. To me, for Major League Baseball to say we want an even playing field is trash. And it is definitely something that they want to push their own agenda on, because if they really looked into it, teams like the Guardians, teams like the Brewers, they're okay spending that much because they see the value in the things on the fringes, because they're not going to go out and get the $20 million player. They're not going to go out and get the long-term extension for 3 guys on their roster. The Guardians, this is not tech, but the Guardians said, you know what? We're going to hire a full-time chef. That full-time chef is going to be down in Goodyear at their facility, their big league spring training and their minor league spring training facility. And he's going to teach guys how to eat healthy, he's going to take them out to the grocery store to buy the products that they're going to buy to cook to help them reduce inflammation, sleep better, recover better, all those things. What is that investment? $200,000 at the max when you're talking about hiring a full-time professional chef to teach these guys. It's like the difference in giving a man a fish or teaching a man how to fish. Which one feeds him for a lifetime? That's where I think Major League Baseball is sadly mistaken. If they want us to believe the fact that, we're making this an even playing field, save it. If the teams aren't doing this little extra stuff, good riddance. We'll see you at 4th place in your division every single year.
On Baseball America, we talked about how this is very helpful for college programs. They're not going to have this regulated in the college scene. You're going to have more and more players go to college baseball, which might be what MLB wants. It creates a free minor league system for them. So that is part of this. That does enhance the college baseball world. Just small side joke I have to throw in there before I get back on the serious side. Are we going to regulate air conditioning too? While we're at it, right, everybody should have AC, and the guy who's working on that at all times. Is just funny how we're pointing to something that some teams clearly invest in and it helps their players directly. And it's not something that is just linear with the big market teams. right? The Angels spend more money than many teams on player payroll, yet they have been known to not spend on things like this, hence the air conditioning joke. But it's not just that. The Rockies have been known for this for a long time. Shocker, the Rockies have been in the Stone Age, and now they're bringing people in to try and fix that. So this is where the conversations happen. And there's a business component to this too. If you want to add to the conspiracy theory that has some good insight behind it and research, when a tech company or data company now presents, it's going to be presenting for the entire league, right? It's like state-run TV kind of situation. You can choose your political pathway to come up with a comp. I'll let you do that on your own, but you present it. Most likely, if one of those companies wants to give a great deal to the league and give them equity and all of that, they will win out, even if they're not the best. And so instead of going to an individual team and creating more of a free marketplace and essentially capitalism, you are doing what? Socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it, right? That is the direction that you're going here. And sometimes, sure, you want to make a case that it works fine for a sport, okay. But in this particular case, it just hurts innovation in our sport. It's ridiculous. Anyone with the last thought on this?
Yeah, I mean, I just think about what the Blue Jays had done with their spring training facility. I mean, it's a big reason people are wanting to go there. The team decided they wanted to invest in their spring training facility to give the players all the resources to be better, and you're seeing it pay off. So what's the next step? Everyone has to have similar complexes, facilities, et cetera, et cetera. I hate it.
Yep.
Exactly. Where is the line here? Where do we go from here? Everyone has to have the same everything. Yeah. I mean, my question is, right, as just a fan who just wants the best players and the coolest shit in terms of innovation, is there any way to fight this? I mean, the fans never can fight anything, but I'm saying players, like, this isn't something that they can bargain. I didn't realize that you can just create whatever you want, right? To me, this feels like a rule. I know it's not an on-field rule, but it's a regulation, and the minor leagues are unionized now. I mean, I guess, I could check with league and with union officials, but can they not fight this?
I don't know how they can, because they're just implementing this. They're going to say it's a infrastructure type of thing, and it's not directly affecting players because it's organizational rules. Like, it's not like, I feel like without, and I'm not the legal team of the MLBPA, but I feel like it's something that is tech is something that is hit when we talk about a players association. Hey, make sure whatever tech you're using, you say, yes, I know what this is and I want to use it. Like, it's not like there's no mandatory tech. The issue is Major League Baseball doesn't care, because they know every single one of these players right now is going to be gone, and every single team is still going to be around. So they're making implementations that will streamline things for themselves and will give them the evaluation of the next layer of players, the next group of players that comes through, and as players, you need to be able to stand up and fight for this, but you're not going to be able to go and buy your own Hawkeye system to get your data, your biometric data that's at stadiums. Like, there's just a lot of things that you got to make sure as a player are benefiting you, and some things that are inhibiting your value throughout your very, very short, finite career.
I'll finish with this, because I think this can relate to almost anyone. Almost anyone believes in jobs, right? You want your fellow citizens, friends, colleagues, etc., to have jobs. So let me relate it, because I just was at the winter meetings and I spoke to many people that work for teams. The more data video analysis that we've had, the less jobs, because sometimes they're like, oh, we can just use our system. A centralized system actually creates even less jobs, because they're all playing with the same numbers. There's no innovation there. So it just completely takes away jobs. That is a direct correlation. That is a guarantee. That is a promise. The number one thing that I can promise you out of all of this, even if you don't care about the player innovation, you want every team to have the same everything, right? Every team spends the same ballpark. Everything looks the same in life, right? It eliminates jobs, guaranteed. And if we had innovation, it would create jobs, period. That's what it is. Sure, there's other tech and things that are going to happen. This isn't like an anti-tech thing. This is saying you're only allowed to use this one tech, this one data company instead of having the option of 10, instead of hiring another person to be able to figure this out for you. That part should be important to almost anyone if you believe in jobs.